All right, so you're thinking about making a move to Phoenix, Arizona. Maybe you're trying to figure out which area might be best for you, and maybe the city of Surprise has come up as a potential option to consider. Well, with all the growth we continue to see in the Northwest Valley, Surprise is definitely getting a lot more attention, and there are definitely some benefits when it comes to living there and the lifestyle that goes along with it. Now, are there some potential negatives that might go along with that? For sure, but our goal today is to kind of give you a general overview of what you need to know, both the good and the bad, so you can decide if Surprise might be right for you. So if you think that might be helpful, then stay tuned. What's up, everybody? It's Greg Corbett with the AZ Lifestyle Group right here in Phoenix, Arizona. If this is your first time to this channel and you're looking to find out everything you need to know about what it's like living in and or moving to the Phoenix metro area, including the city of Surprise, then make sure to hit that subscribe button and click the bell so you can be notified whenever we post a new video. We are helping people from all over when it comes to finding the best places and neighborhoods to live here, and we absolutely love it. So if you're even thinking about making a move and you need any assistance whatsoever, give us a call, send us a text, shoot us an email, however you want to get a hold of us. We got your back when it comes to moving to the Phoenix Metro. All right, guys, we're going to get right into it. Let's bring up the map of Metro Phoenix. We're going to highlight Surprise in red here. We are taking you to the northwest side of the valley. And let's kind of give you a general overview of where Surprise is. So if you got Phoenix right in the center here, if you are basically coming in from Sky Harbor Airport in downtown Phoenix, to get to Surprise, you're going to be about 45 minutes away. You're either going to take the I-10, and there's multiple ways to get in there, but you can take the I-10 all the way to the 303. This is the new 303 freeway that is bringing a lot of development in. You can take that into Surprise. You can take the 101 up and then kind of head west. You also have Grand Avenue here that if you wanted to kind of drive through Glendale and Peoria, you can get through Surprise that way. One of the nice things about the 303 is it's actually made Surprise a lot easier to get to over the last several years because not too long ago, before the 303 opened up, Surprise was kind of a pain in the butt to kind of get into town over there. There was a lot of growth and development. Surprise started building up, back around that 2003 to 2007 timeframe when we had the original boom of building going on. And, there was a lot of people buying in there back in the day because of affordability, but it was not always the easiest place to get to in and out of if you were coming in from Phoenix or wherever around the valley. So a lot easier to get into now, a lot of growth and development. And with the popularity of Peoria, Peoria is right here bordering to just to the east. And Peoria has definitely become a lot more popular place to be with all the positives and the growth and the development and the views and that type of thing. And Surprise is right there with it in my mind. We actually had some family that moved out to Surprise last year. And I think, for their situation, I think it kind of makes sense for what a lot of people are moving up to the Northwest Valley. They bought a big RV and they needed an RV garage at their house, so they didn't have to pay a crazy amount of money to store it. So if you rather spend, I don't know, $600 to $1,000, depending on where you're storing, whether it's your RV, a boat, any kind of toys you might have, when you have the opportunity to kind of get into some of these neighborhoods that have these huge RV garages, I think they're a lot more prevalent in the Northwest Valley in places like Peoria and Surprise and that type of thing. So they decided to find a neighborhood up there that offered the ability to have that, save the money on the storage, and then also keep everything right at home. So I think that's a lot of the demographic of people who are looking to live up in the Northwest Valley. And a lot of it's because just the activities you get. So, you're right here next to Lake Pleasant. So Lake Pleasant is a big draw for a lot of people who just want to get out there, number one, in their boats and just kind of do all the water sports and everything that goes along with that. There's a lot of cool desert activity up in the area as well. So if you have, motorbikes and four-wheelers and stuff like that. There's a lot of just fun desert activity with people with toys. Being up in the Northwest kind of gives you a lot of access to that type of stuff. So a lot of people like, being able to have that right at home, and that's their weekend fun and that type of thing. So that's kind of a lot of what you'll see out there in the Northwest Valley. And there's just a lot of major development. Number one, there's a lot of new construction going on when it comes to new homes. Let me see. Let me bring this up here. This map here is just all the new communities going on. So let's kind of focus in a little bit on Surprise. So all these little arrows that you're going to see up in here are all brand new communities. So there's new communities all over the place that are popping up. So if you're looking for new construction, Surprise is definitely going to give you a lot of stuff to look at. I recently did a video at Sterling Grove. Toll Brothers has a community at Sterling Grove right here. It's a big golf course community. That's absolutely beautiful. Definitely check out that video. There's a lot of opportunities in there, both for families, and also there's a side of it that's going to be, active adult, that type of thing. That's going to give you the things you want as far as activities and being in an active adult community. So you get a little bit of that. I see the community right next to here. This has always been one of my favorite communities, Marley Park. This really just nice, cool little homes. I mean, they're small lots and they're tucked together, but it's just a cool community. They have like a cool style to them. I'll pop some pictures or some video on that so you can kind of get a general idea. But again, let's go back to the 303, because the 303 is driving in so much when it comes to new development, when it comes to businesses. So for anybody who is maybe has a job in some of these huge new, offices, distribution centers, warehouses. There's a lot of stuff going on all over the 303 up and down here. I mean, it's just a huge mecca of new businesses coming in. You might have heard that up here around the 303 and the I-17, they've got the new Taiwan semiconductor plant that's going in. So that's a big chip manufacturer. They're spending a lot of money on that. If you've checked any of this out here. So this is going to be a huge project. It's being built right now. They expect it to be open by 2024. We'll see how that happens. But that's bringing a lot of growth in. There's a lot of money being spent around the 303 for new development. It's just a good place to be for businesses coming in if you need land and space to kind of build some of these projects, and also allow you to be close to a place to hire employees and that type of thing. So I think the Northwest Valley is probably one of the biggest places that's going to have the most expansion with everything that's going on. So to me, as far as an opportunity for building equity, if you're purchasing a home there, that type of thing, there's going to be a lot of growth. I think it's going to be a great place to be, and it's going to be building up for quite a while now. So a lot of opportunity there. So obviously a lot of positives there. Let's talk through some of the negatives, some of the reasons why, Surprise might not be a good fit for you, because, again, there's always going to be some positives. There's, I forgot to talk about the White Take Mountains here. There's a lot of great views and stuff like that. I think the biggest negative that always comes up in my mind, and again, depending on where you're at in the valley, this is for not only Surprise, but a lot of the stuff on the outskirts is, where are you going to be working? Do you have a commute? Now, a lot of people get to work remotely these days. So if you get to work remotely and you can kind of pick wherever you want, then makes life a lot easier. But if you do have to drive, let's say you have to drive into Phoenix, or you have to go into Scottsdale, you have to go into any other place, the drive and the traffic getting in and out can be a little bit of a pain in the butt. I know I've had to go through that in my past life experience, having to drive at least an hour each way to kind of getting in and out. It can wear on you quite a bit. So when I lived in Queen Creek, I had to drive all over town when I was, having to go through that experience. It's not fun after a while. So for anybody that has to make that drive or that commute, maybe Surprise might not be the best fit for you. Maybe you do that so you can have your RV garage and that type of thing, because not a whole lot of places maybe offer that around the valley, especially for the price point that you're going to get it. So I get if people are like, hey, I'll make that happen. But I'm just not a big fan of big commutes. And I think you're your lifestyle becomes a lot better when you don't have to drive that much around town. So that might be a potential negative. Surprise is also, it's pretty much kind of a just houses. So there's not a big entertainment district in Surprise. You got, you'll have your restaurants and little strip mall restaurants and your grocery stores and stuff like that. So you'll have access to the things you need. Otherwise, from an entertainment district type of thing, you're probably going to have to go into Peoria or into Glendale. Again, probably not too crazy out of the way, but I would say, for most people, it's going to be 15 to 20 minutes before you get into any kind of major entertainment district if you're looking to get out and about and have some fun, that type of thing. So kind of considered a bedroom community in my mind, that type of thing. But a lot of positives that go along with that too. So one of the other things that, in my mind, I think can be considered a negative for a lot of people too. For my situation, I've lived in every single city in the East Valley, and I currently live in Central Phoenix now. I've lived in all the outskirts, and there's a certain appeal to, living in Central Phoenix and some of the older areas that have, a little bit of diversity when it comes to houses. If you're somebody who's like, hey, I don't want to live in all these master plan communities where all the houses look the same, then I think living in, areas like Surprise, maybe Peoria, places like Queen Creek, and even Chandler and Gilbert and stuff like that, Goodyear, all of those communities have kind of similar feel. Like the builders go out, they have these master plan communities, they have the typical blueprint they go through, they have like, a few floor plans that they're going to build, that type of thing. And, it gives you a newer build. It gives you like a cool house, but everything kind of looks the same. So that might be a potential negative if you're looking for a little bit more diversity than places like, Phoenix and Scottsdale. Even Glendale to a certain extent will give you a little bit more diversity just because of the age of the homes, that type of thing. So that might be something to consider. Obviously, price point's going to be a little different. A lot of people come in and they're looking for newer homes, and they're looking for, apples to apples, what's going to give you a newer house for the price point. And that's where moving out to these outer edge areas is going to give you a little bit more bang for your buck when it comes to that. You just don't get some of the same diversity. You don't maybe get some of the greenery and some of the mature landscaping that you'll get if you were a little bit more centrally located. But again, everybody's going to have different needs. Something to consider. Real quick, you guys, if you're finding this info helpful at all, please consider hitting that like button and make sure to leave us a comment. Let us know what you like, what you don't like, anything that you would have added to help us improve this content later on. We appreciate it. A couple other things to mention. I think, if you're looking at the certain areas, there's going to be certain parts that maybe, have a little bit of an older feel. Obviously, the stuff that was built up originally in the early 2000s. Marley Park is definitely an exception, but there's a lot of other little communities that maybe were built up that don't have, some of the appeal, but they might give you a little bit lesser price point. The stuff on the outskirts outside of the 303, that's going to be the newer developments, kind of the maybe areas that feel a little nicer right now currently, but maybe aren't as developed as much. Probably you're going to pay a little bit higher price for. But I'm also seeing that, like, a lot of times you see the same thing when it comes to the school. So, like, make sure to check out the ratings. And I'm not a big believer that ratings mean everything. If you go to some of the websites, like everybody goes to greatschools.org and that type of thing, we're definitely seeing improvements. Like anytime you see more communities being built up, you're going to see more money coming into the area. That's going to be better for teachers. And so, with all that, it's going to see some improvement with the school ratings and that type of thing. But you're going to have a little bit of a mix here when you go in and you kind of start looking at school ratings and that type of thing. You might not see the general overall as like a blanket of being great all over or positive all over. There's going to be a little bit of a mix or some average scores here and there. Again, take that for what it is, because a lot of people just like to get on and complain online. But keep an eye on it. If it's something that's important to you, I definitely think you should do your research before we get into certain areas to make sure that you're happy with the schools and the ratings that they're given. And then actually, I also want to cover Luke Air Force Base is just south of Surprise. So that's something to keep in mind as well. You want to know that Luke is kind of right directly nearby, because you're going to get a lot of military aircraft constantly flying around. There's certain neighborhoods that you know, especially that where I've been in Goodyear, that are constantly have military traffic going over and over. So it might be a little bit case by case depending on your neighborhood as far as if you're having the military traffic flying overhead. In my mind, you know, is it something that's going to be a big deal for everybody? Maybe not. But if you don't want the sound of constant air traffic, that might be something to kind of keep in mind. If you're going around there and you're like checking out houses, make sure to stick around for a little bit and see how much you know, traffic you might get or any kind of extra noises you might get. So if it's an issue for you, you know whether or not to make a move on something like that. All right, guys, so there's a quick recap of Surprise for you, kind of give you a general info on what you need to know. Make sure to keep an eye on, you know, some of our other videos that are coming out. We're going to be doing these map videos on every single big area here around the Metro Phoenix area, hopefully to give you kind of a little bit of an overview on what to expect, the pros and cons of each area. So keep an eye out for those. If you have any questions, make sure to reach out to us. We'll keep our contact info on screen as always. We're here to kind of guide you in the right direction. If you have questions, make sure to leave a comment down below or reach out to us directly. Again, we're helping people from all over when it comes to finding the best places and neighborhoods to live here. We absolutely love it. So if you're even thinking about making a move, give us a call, send us a text, shoot us an email, however you want to get a hold of us. We got your back, and until the next video, we'll catch you later.